Middlesbrough sporting their brand new kit for next season. Look to end this season on a high. It's been another rollercoaster ride for those fans. And what about those Manchester City fans? The name of Sven-Göran Eriksson has been chanted for the last half hour or so. Around 3,000 have made the journey to the northeast for this game. Gareth Southgate has told those Middlesbrough fans to make sure they come back here next season. He believes that they can be a top 10 team next campaign. What will those Manchester City players be thinking? Will they still have a manager next week? Will it still be Sven-Göran Eriksson? Questions to be answered. First of all, the football. Well, Gareth Southgate sticks with the same Middlesbrough 11 which beat Portsmouth and ensured survival last week. It could be a farewell appearance for both Mark Schwarzer and Fabio Rockenbach. Chris Rigger continues at centre-half as he fights for his future here at the Riverside. Tony McMahon is amongst the substitutes. Is this the last team that Sven-Göran Eriksson picks for Manchester City in a Premier League game? He makes 3 changes from the side beaten at Liverpool last week. Andreas Isaksson is rewarded for his patience by getting the nod in goal on the final day. Joe Hart drops down to the bench. Javi Garrido and Gelson Fernandes are drafted in. Alana moves to the bench. There's no Michael Johnson. Big question marks over the future of Manchester City's captain as well as the manager. Richard Dunn has yet to sign or be given a new contract at City, where those talks haven't happened for the last 7 or 8 weeks. His old boss Kevin Keegan is ready to pounce. City could lose both boss and skipper in the summer. It could be goodbye to Middlesbrough from Mark Schwarzer 11 years after making his debut. He's looking at offers from Italy and Germany as well as suitors in England. Middlesbrough, though, are still keen to keep him here. Schwarzer's opposite number gets a rare start today. Andreas Isaksson's been confined to the bench by Joe Hart's terrific form. He's rewarded for his professionalism today and is still expected to be Sweden's #1 at the upcoming European Championships. Gareth Southgate, a critic of Sven in the past, has backed him this week, offering his support. Troubled times for Sven. His former player is sharing it with him and hoping he gets through it. Phil Dowd, the referee today. Manchester City have a chance, big chance, of making into Europe via the Fair Play League. Well, is this Sven's goodbye? Set the task by Manchester City's owner of finishing in the top half. That mission has been accomplished, but it still may not be good enough to save his job. Even a backdoor entry into Europe may not soften that stance. The nice, cool Swede battles on for now. The fans are behind him, the players are behind him, but it is Manchester City career behind him. Alongside me is Gordon McQueen. Gordon, strange to ask some questions about a man who has guided Manchester City at least into a top 9 finish.
Well, I think it's pretty safe to say this will be his last game. Well, certainly according to Sven-Göran Eriksson it's going to be, and I find that quite remarkable. I think his chairman's a bit of a loose cannon. I mean, City, well, we've only got to look where City's been in the past. Sven-Göran Eriksson gave them hope this year. Terrific start to the season. OK, they haven't had a great second half of the season, but he spent some money, but never like the type of money that you need to get into the top 4. And I'm really amazed at the decision that looks like the Manchester City owner is going to take, and that's get rid of Sven-Göran Eriksson. You can hear the thoughts of the Manchester City fans today. Big travelling support as always, totally behind their man. He's in total disagreement with the decision that looks like it's going to be made.
Well, if it is goodbye to Sven-Göran Eriksson, will it be on a high here against a Middlesbrough side who last week ensured their survival in the Premier League? But Gareth Southgate wants far more than that from this squad and those that will be added to it in the summer for next season. This is Ball playing at centre-half again for Manchester City today. Now Garrido. Ben Johnny was trying to remain onside, headed clear by Riggett. Riggett once more. Tunchai tried to pull that down, just bounced away from him.
I think it's important that Middlesbrough's form at home does improve. It's been pretty poor this season. Something that Gareth Southgate's looking to put right. I think they'll be wanting to win today. Back-to-back wins. We'll get into the habit of winning here at the Riverside.
It was mid-January when Manchester City were occupying 4th place, a Champions League place. They've had an almighty slide from that. And that's why Thaksin Shinawatra is mulling over a change. Here's Ben Johnny, instant strike.
Well, great ball forward for one of the players that big success story first half of the season. Petrov here, lovely ball in. A bit of miscontrol there with himself, but fell into the path of Benjani. He knocks it past Swartzer's post. But certainly Petrov, a player that's, well, certainly huge successful. First part of the season, been a little bit quiet the second. He suffered a bit as of Manchester City, and of course Alano, who's on the bench today. Success story. Chaluka, middle of the park for Manchester City today. I think one of the best signings in the Premiership this season. Okay, they paid what, £7 million, but I think it was a really good bit of business.
There's Jihai's son. Now Darius Vassell. Questions over the manager, questions over this man, Richard Dunn, as well. Still waiting for a new contract at Manchester City. It's believed talks haven't happened for a good 7 or 8 weeks with the Manchester City skipper. Newcastle amongst those clubs waiting to pounce. Long ball here towards Benjani. Leaned out of it by David Wheater.
I don't think there'll be any shortage of offers for Richard Dunn if they do decide to let him go, and I can't imagine for a minute they would. A really poor decision. Good skipper with a great season. Well, a player that's come on, well, the last 2 or 3 seasons been outstanding in the heart of the defence for Manchester City. Player
of the season as well for the 4th consecutive campaign, voted for by Manchester City's fans. Broke the record which was held by former goalkeeper Joe Corrigan. There's Son. Downing has made a dash forward. It's Dunn who's doing the defending. This is Tunshine. Marker inside of him. So to here, Fabio Rockenbach. Now Boateng, young in space on this near side. Comfortably cut out though by Garrido, and Manchester City away here. Petrov inside of Garrido, Benjani almost on the edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area. There's Benjani, surrounded though, and Rockenbach smashing the ball away.
Yeah, there's just an accidental collision there between Rockenbach and Benjani. When Rockenbach's trying to clear that, got a whack in the chest, can be painful. Middlesbrough fans don't think there's a lot of harm. You look at it here, Rockenbach's studs get him in the chest. It's a bit of a follow through there from the Brazilian. Maybe a bit fortunate to the referee not. I thought he'd decided to have a word with him there, but never.
So Benjani receives treatment. Will he need any treatment after this? Sven-Göran Eriksson still hasn't been clear-cut as to what his future is. He is, though, heading to Thailand with his Manchester City team on Tuesday to play a post-season, a couple of pre-match friendlies, post-season friendlies, I should say. I think the British Soap Awards were last week, weren't they? But Manchester City didn't win anything. But those fans will know, life at Manchester City has always been a soap opera. It had been a fairly sensible season so far. Results have been up and down. And then suddenly, the last 10 days, it's all mushroomed and exploded.
Well, for me, they look a side that can improve. You look at some of the younger players that aren't playing today. Anua, Micah Richards, Michael Johnson. A lot of talent. Young Joe Hart on the bench has a terrific season. Obviously decided to go with Isaacson today, but got a lot of good players, this Manchester City side. A strong squad. And with Sven at the helm, I expect them to do even better next season.
Well, there's no doubt Benjani took that boot fully in the chest from Fabio Rockenbach, hence the extensive treatment. Play resumes now. And there is Fabio Rockenbach, couldn't keep the ball in play. As for now, City down to 10, Benjani continuing to receive treatment. Talk about Sven's impact, Gordon. The players he's brought here, Manchester City, as we know, is a big, big club, but the players he's signed in the last 8-9 months or so have all said one thing: we came here because of Sven. So what effect will that have on them if he leaves?
Well, he's certainly got a reputation as a manager, there's no doubt about that. Maybe tarnished somewhat with England at times, but certainly at club level, you look at the success he's had in Italy, Portugal. And I think they realise that the players and these Manchester City fans, that they've got a good manager and can't understand why the owner wants to get rid of him.
Riggett is forward here for Middlesbrough. Just beyond him is David Wheater, who's unmarked at the moment. It's floated in towards the head of Alves. This is George Boateng sizing up the opportunity. It was deflected over.
That's half a chance, because it ricochets off a couple of heads here and falls beautifully for Boateng. Don't quite clear it here, Manchester City. And he just gets under that one a bit. I mean, he's under a bit of pressure for the City defender here. That's got to go down as well, half a chance.
Benjani is back on for Manchester City. Boateng dashing towards the near post there. Vito has stayed forward, so too Riggett, you can see. Could be double trouble here for Manchester City. They're awaiting the return of the ball.
Yeah, it would help.
First rule of football, I would imagine. So rocking back with this corner. Middlesbrough scored from 2 set pieces last week against Portsmouth. Driven low, and Alves kicks there, then Arca goes for the placer. Almost found it as well. Good effort.
Well, the two Brazilians linking together there, and they worked that corner kick beautifully. Obviously straight off the training ground. The cut back for Alves. Difficult technique. Back to goal, try to hit it, but it falls nicely for the Arca. He's just trying to pick his spot. An awful lot of people thought that beat Isaacson there.
First sight on goal has come from Middlesbrough. George Boateng's shot deflected, and that from Julio Arca. They played some nice football this season, Middlesbrough, just haven't got the results.
Well, certainly goal scoring's been a problem for them. Certainly at the Riverside Stadium, and obviously with the signing of Alves in the January transfer window, who's finally settling down. Obviously when he first came here, had missed an awful lot of football at Hearnveen, hadn't played much. Took him a little while to get used to the pace of the English game, but scoring goals of late and looking a threat. So they got a goal scorer on the side.
Dangerous ball in from Downing, and scuffed away in the nick of time by Michael Ball.
Oh, if he just gets a little bit more in that Tunchai. Great ball in by Stewie Downey, who's had a terrific season for Middlesbrough. Tunchai just looking to get a little nick on that, just never get enough on it.
Middlesbrough have the bit between their teeth. Here's Boateng. Nice sliding challenge from Garrido presents Middlesbrough with another corner.
Well, mixing it up this time, it's Stuart Down that's going over to take it. Rocking back, tried the one cut back for Alves. Last time around, nearly successful. Arca should have done a little bit better with his left foot. Time and space for the edge of the box. You expect him to at least pull a save out of Isaacson. It's an in-swinger this time from Stuart Downey.
Riggett stretching. So nothing for Middlesbrough. He's a threat though.
Well, certainly a threat last week against Portsmouth. Surprise call up, taking him back on loan from, well, he was on loan at Stoke, expecting to play for them. But back here and cement Middlesbrough's place in the Premiership with a really important header last week.
Well, he's okay now, Benjani, after that hefty whack in the chest. Thing towards Benjani. Let's see how freely he moves here. Not too freely as Riggett knocks the ball away. In fact, Manchester City may well be making a change, which would be Benjani. You would think coming off after that knock. I think Castillo is getting ready down below us, the Mexican. Eats his ball. There's Gelson Fernandez. Nice touch. Lascelles on the run here. Ireland inside of him. It drops here to Benjani. Trying to link up with Ireland. It was Arca tracking back for Middlesbrough. He's had an up and down season, Julio Arca. In the heart of the Middlesbrough midfield. Lost his place. Come back in though. There's Neri Castillo. He was about to come on. And we assume replace Benjani. The message has been clearly made by the Manchester City fans this afternoon to owner Thaksin Shinawatra, who's still in Thailand. The Manchester City head.
Well, one striker coming on, another one going off, as you say, Gary Benjani. Been a problem position this season for Manchester City. Not really got a prolific goal scorer as such. Like the football been very good, maybe not the goals to show for it.
Almost a delightful ball there from Fabio Rockenbach. There comes a change there from Manchester City, forced into an early change. Castillo coming on, and Benjani's season is over. Whack in the chest from Rockenbach's boot.
Yeah, it can be a nice injury that when you get a knock in the ribs. Can be painful, difficult to breathe. And that's the case with Benjani there.
So Castillo on, his loan spell will continue next season up into January. Paid half of the loan fee to get him here to Manchester City, the Mexican, out of his own pocket because he wanted to play here so much. This is comfortable for Luke Young. Was comfortable the second time though. Boateng just put him in trouble. Conversations down below us between Derek Verzakali, Hans Bakker, Sven's assistant, and Martin Petrov, just to try and work out how Manchester City are reshaping here. Castillo's gone down the centre, exactly where Benjani was. Sell stayed out wide on the far side, Petrov on this near side, but Castillo doesn't have quite the same frame as Benjani.
He's not getting the pace either. You know, Middlesbrough can push up now because we leave too much space in behind when you're playing against Manchester City. They're playing against Benjani in particular, one of the quicker strikers in the Premier League, and take advantage of that space in behind defenders.
There's Chris Riggett. Has timed his run to perfection. There he's onside. Was he hauled down? Penalty is given, and this could be a red card for Richard Dunn. Sunshine timed his run to perfection. Dunn brought him down. Dunn is red carded. Penalty to Middlesbrough.
Well, they're just going with the rule book here. I mean, it is harsh. I think it's an accidental collision as well. Just a coming together. Richard Dunn and Tunjai there. I mean, it's a great ball forward, and it's terrific movement by Tunjai. His control's not the best here because you think the goalkeeper's going to come and scoop this up, but there's a collision with Dunn. Well, denies Tunjai a goal-scoring opportunity. Are so filled out, thinks he's the one that matters. Off he goes, down to 10 men, and a penalty to Middlesbrough.
Big questions over the future of Richard Dunn. Will he still be a Manchester City player? Well, the season is over. Downing to take this penalty against Andreas Isaksson. Big chance for Middlesbrough to take the lead. Big chance for Downing's 9th goal of the season. No doubt about it. Wonderful finish from the penalty spot. Clinical. 1-0 to Middlesbrough.
Well, I don't care how good a goalkeeper you are, you're not going to stop that penalty. Terrific power and precision with Stuart Downing here. We'll just wonder how Manchester City will react now. Nothing to play for this season. 1-0 down and down to 10 men. It's all going horrible wrong for City. Could be losing the manager after today. Look at that for the penalty. Isaksson, big fella, 6'6" at full stretch, and still can't get near it. Downing, who's well been outstanding for Middlesbrough this season. Top equal goal scorer now with Tunjai in the Premier League for Middlesbrough. Terrific contribution for a wide man.
Southgate said today he's challenged Downing to score 2 today, to hit double figures. That's goal number 9 of the season for him. Clinical penalty. Filled out, no question in his mind, it was a penalty. Sent Richard Dunn off as well. Manchester City trying to get into Europe via the Fair Play League. The backdoor route. It would take a few red cards, I think, today to divert Manchester City's hopes of winning that. 1 red card, 1 man down, 1 goal down.
That was a tough decision. I don't think it was deliberate on Richard Dunn's part. I think the legs get tangled up. Tunjai went down.
It was a terrific run from Tunjai, a good ball as well to find him. It's brought the goal, Middlesbrough in the lead. There's Young. Tunjai again looking for this. For the return from Alves. Good tackle by Ball. Shaw Luca has dropped into centre half now for Manchester City.
Well, you wonder if Manchester City have pushed bodies forward. I was expecting a really open game today. Not any real pressure on either of these sides, apart from earning some money for the chairman. The positions in the Premier League, certainly Middlesbrough, Wigan lose today, I believe they go above them. Is it £720,000 now? Not to be sniffed at, is it?
Not your wages, is it, now you're joining the staff? Yeah, 13th is what Middlesbrough could finish today. For Manchester City, they're guaranteed a top 9 finish. For Manchester City, most of the headlines are off the pitch, aren't they? Whether Sven-Göran Eriksson will still be in a job. If he isn't, he'll want to sign off on a high. His side trail by a goal to nil here. And it's Middlesbrough who've had the better opportunities in the opening few minutes. They grabbed the penalty too.
Well, there's no question that Middlesbrough started as strong, and even with 11v11, you'd expect them to go and capitalise and playing against 10 men. Manchester City just might make it difficult, make it a lot of people behind the ball. And as we said, we're really hoping for a real open game today from both these sides. As we mentioned, no real pressure on them to get results. But, well, we'll wait and see how Manchester City react to that.
There's Ireland. He's down to play the link man today, just behind Ben Charney. Manchester City already had to reshape. Ben Charney's gone off. And of course, that was followed by Richard Dunn's sending off. Garrido's ball in. Away by Wheater.
Yeah, straight red for Richard Dunn. Misses games at the start of next season. Well, I don't think he'll need a warm down, that's for sure.
Here's Boateng. Put out wild by Fernandes. Now Castillo. Vassell has drifted inside. Young is after that. Manchester City will have a throw in.
Yeah, been a solid performer this year for Middlesbrough. Luke Young, very reliable.
There's Vassell. He's back again. Vassell slides the ball away from Sunshine. Now Stephen Ireland, who can hit them from here. It's nice football. It's Gelson Fernandes. You can see the intent. Sport has put his team in trouble. The assistant referee is waving on the far side for a free kick to Manchester City. Sliding challenge from Emmanuel Pogatetz. And another card about to be brandished.
Well, initially it's lovely play with Manchester City. Fernandes testing Mark Schwarzer, and then Schwarzer loses his concentration there. Just really slack. And who's he throwing it to here? Well, straight to a City player, that's it. Pogatetz lunges in. Phil Dowd willing to play the advantage rule there. And then when there was no advantage, towards a free kick, it's a dangerous position, particularly when this fella's on the ball. Suits a left footer as well, this position.
Martin Petrov lining this up. And Manchester City hit back. Middlesbrough fans have fallen silent. It's Petrov, nicks off the wall, I think, it? Well, goal kick is what's being given. Didn't quite get the direction.
Well, he got the up bit okay, he just never got the down bit, did he? It's a difficult technique, but certainly more than capable for those type of distances. Petrov, terrific left foot.
Manchester City have won just 4 of their last 16 Premier League games since early January. That's why they slid out of contention for the 4th Champions League spot. City will get the free kick here for a high boot from Alves, but that is why they've slid down the table, that run of form. I suppose Sven could say, Gordon, it may sound strange, he started too well.
Well, they did. They had a terrific start. A lot of narrow wins at the start of the season, but I mean, it gave these Manchester City supporters hope for the first time in a few years, and particularly with the players that he brought in. City fans took a liking to Petrov, Alano, all players that form was excellent at the start of the season. Chaluka, really good bit of business. The emergence of Joe Hart, some really good young players. Micah Richards, Michael Johnson, who unfortunately not available for Sven at this moment in time. But they did tail off second half of the season, but I really don't know what...
Petrov's done well there. Not so, Stephen Ireland.
I really don't know what the chairman's really expecting of Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Sunshine, time to run again here. He's onside, you know. As it collected, the City arms went up, but Mo Matador with the flag on this near side kept it down.
Well, a little touch movement is excellent. Playing higher up the pitch than he normally does, right up alongside Alves. Expect him to stay there, certainly now that City are down to 10 men. Northern Lights playing a little bit deeper, good coming in for the wide areas as well, particularly when he plays on the left-hand side, coming in on his right foot and pots it goal.
So another chance here for Manchester City to put pressure on that Middlesbrough penalty area. Tested Sporter just once so far through Gelson Fernandez's shot. There's Ireland, Son in space on that far side.
Well, the only player they've got that is an aerial threat is off the pitch now, Richard Dunn. Haven't really got anybody in this Manchester City side today that attacks the ball particularly well.
Free kick Middlesbrough's way. Tunchai is causing them problems. So important for Middlesbrough to send their fans off into the summer in good heart. It's been a difficult season. Southgate, a manager who's still learning his trade. He hopes to end on a high here. They're playing nice football, rocking back. Pogatetto screaming for the ball on that far side. Didn't come his way though, and now he has to race back as racing forward is Darius Vassell. There's Castillo, just like to drop deep and pick up possession, which sometimes will leave Manchester City without a target man. Alves, Young making his way forward here. Young's brother relegated with Bournemouth last week. Together Neil. Middlesbrough in control of this game. They lead by a goal to nil thanks to Stuart Downing's penalty. It's Pogatetto now rocking back. Straight to Vassell. Worked out well though for Rockenbach. Now it's Arca. Just breaking down for Middlesbrough. That final third chance here for City to launch a counter-attack with Petrov. Castillo to his right. That's a thumping and a good challenge by Young, is it? Well, Phil Down took his time to blow his whistle, and Luke Young has said something to him here, and another card is about to come out.
Well, can't blame Luke Young really. I mean, I think this is a poor decision. He put a little bit high, that's what Phil Dowd indicated. I mean, everybody in this stadium thought that was a fantastic tackle by Luke Young here. You know, you get Petrov running at you at pace. You know, his left boot does come up in the air a bit and catches Petrov. Well, doesn't catch him with his boots, his backside, isn't it? His boot is a bit high. But I don't think he was getting booked for that. I think he just reacted to the decision that went against him there. Bit of dissent, that's why the yellow card came out. Phil Dowd not having any of it. A lot been made of it, showing referees respect. I'm all for it as well.
So another Manchester City player down, receiving treatment. Remember, they've lost Ben Johnny to injury. They've lost Richard Dunn to a red card. Is his career at Manchester City behind him? The fans are certainly backing him. Around 3,000 marched on the City of Manchester Stadium yesterday. Around 20,000 have signed a petition. The message is very, very clear. Petrov off the field for now to continue treatment. City for now down to 9 as they look for an equaliser. Goes ball in, goes towards ball as well. Castillo with the flick back. And it's Darius Vassell who tried the acrobatics.
They should be looking to deal with free kicks better than this, Middlesbrough. Michael Ball not the biggest. That ball comes back across. It's knocked into the path of Vassell. Should have been tighter. Not a Middlesbrough player near him.
talk today surrounding Sven-Göran Eriksson, but Gareth Southgate has come out this week and thanked publicly his chairman Steve Gibson for standing by him. Middlesbrough, that poor run just before Christmas. There's Arca, he's going for the place there, but Middlesbrough, that poor run just before Christmas when a lot of chairmen were firing the trigger on a few managers. Steve Gibson stood by Gareth Southgate.
There was never any doubt then, Gary, that that's what was going to happen here. He just doesn't fire managers willy-nilly. Faith in him. Steve Gibson appointed Gareth Southgate. Felt that it was excellent management material. I think he'll be proved right.
What a huge contrast between the two sides today. Sven-Göran Eriksson worried about his job, despite at least a top 9 finish. Gareth Southgate given time, given backing, which every manager needs to try and see the job through here. Petrov back on the field, City back up to 10. It's Middlesbrough's number 10.
Well, a few moans for the crowd there because Riggett doesn't play that forward, but he did the right thing. There wasn't anything on. And although they're 1-0 up, down to 10 men, no point in giving the ball away needlessly, just thumping it forward. And there's nobody need anything like a decent run.
Nice football again from Middlesbrough, and Luke Young will settle for the corner. They have caused Manchester City a couple of problems from these corner kicks so far.
And they've got an aerial threat as well. You've got a terrific delivery, either Downing or rocking back, and you've got the aerial threat of David Wheater and Chris Riggett. He gets a few goals for a central defender. David Wheater attacks the ball well.
And there towards Sunshine. Isaacson somehow comes up with the ball.
Looked as though that was going to end up in the back of the net, didn't it? Not quite sure what you saved that with.
Sometimes goalkeepers need luck. Maybe that was luck, maybe it was a terrific save, but he's come up with the ball. Okay, no, Middlesbrough causing problems from set pieces. There's Petrov. Garrido's an ocean of space on this near side. They're just behind him, so he had to track back, and he was offside.
Well, he makes a nice positive run forward. Decent ball out to him by Petrov, but Middlesbrough back four kept a nice high line. This is a corner kick, yeah. What happens here? Well, nearly gets through the legs of Isaacson.
Sunshine, Alves were causing the problems.
Yeah, I think if it even through his legs, Alves' goal.
Sunshine trying to get behind Michael Ball, didn't keep the ball in play though. You see the more or less makeshift back four that Manchester City are playing today, and they've had to for the last few weeks. They have had plenty of injuries this season. Sven hasn't been a manager to moan about that.
Well, it's very important to keep your players fit. Clubs like Manchester City that don't have huge squads, and Middlesbrough for that matter, when you get 2 or 3 players out long term, you know, it does have an effect in your performances. Absolutely no doubt about that.
Throw in here to Manchester City. 10 men of City trying to get an equaliser in this game. To end the season on the high. As they begun the season against West Ham, they won't do like that.
A couple of wins against Manchester United as well, which always goes down well with these City fans.
First double in 38 years over the big City rivals. This is Petrov. Fernandez will try and make that into something, almost did as well. Cell closing down Downing. Downing's done well. There's only a team, Manchester City, since Sven went there, that like to keep the ball. Don't often send the ball long. I'm sure I might do in a second, but he's worked on the training ground on City, maintaining possession, retaining possession. Give and go. Which is exactly what they're doing there. Doesn't quite come off this time. And only has it been a change in personnel for Manchester City this season, it's been a change in the way they play as well.
Well, I think that's Sven's style, likes his teams to get the ball down.
Towards Alves. Why get the ball back to the Turkish international? Partnership which Gareth Southgate is prepared to stick with.
He's got Mido to come back as well next season. He's had a torrid time with injuries this season at Middlesbrough. Not played much football at all, but well, Mido, Alves, might not be a bad partnership.
He stayed onside again, that Sunshine. It was a foul though. It's a free kick to Manchester City, but he's timing these runs well.
Well, I think that's one of the strengths of his game. His movement and his timing of runs. It's just a little nudge there. That's what the assistant referee's indicating.
There's Ireland. Slipping too far behind Darius Vassell. Manchester City lacking punch up front so far in this game. And Johnny had to take an early exit because of a whack to the chest. 15 goals in 35 Premier League games for Ben Johnny. 4 players ahead of him in that run of games. He's had a terrific strike record.
I still believe it's an area that Manchester City will try to strengthen next season. I don't really know the financial situation, whether they've got the big bucks to get the goal scorers, because they're expensive items.
Problem is, I don't think they know if they have a manager after this game, do they?
Well,
All needs sorting out and clarifying. Good work again by Stuart Downing. This is Arca. Nice dummy by Tunchai. It's rocking back. Tunchai again. Alves waiting inside the penalty area. I think Tunchai fall rocking back and continue his run. It's nice football, and it will be a corner.
I just think they overdo it a bit here in the boxes. It's a lovely step over and rocking back into the box, just lays it into the path of Tunjai. He's trying to come inside to get a shot away with his right foot. His first touch wasn't that great.
Middlesbrough produce on this. Isaacson. It's a good, confident take.
Well, 6'6", ball inside the 6-yard box. Expect keeper to come and take that.
There's Castillo. And again. Middlesbrough back in their numbers. City trying to pick a way through. This is Petrov. Ricocheted off rocking back to Boateng. What can Middlesbrough do here? Tunchai closed down. Castillo. Ireland inside of him. Petrov on the outside. Garrido tackled initially by Alves. Manchester City just trying to apply a little bit of pressure here on Middlesbrough. Getting involved a little bit more in this game now. This is Gelson Fernandez. No foul. Rocking back. Sunshine. Down into his left. Alves and Boateng to his right. So too here. Fabio rocking back. Rocking back's done well. They skip away from the challenges. Alves! That's a great goal for Middlesbrough. 2-0. The Brazilian strikes again.
Well, that's one thing Alves does. You give him the ball in the box, he'll stick it in the back of the net. A fantastic goal-scoring record in Dutch football. But great play by his fellow countryman, rocking back here. Tunchai sets him up. It's a great first touch, great control, and a really clever little ball inside. Alves just picks his spot, slams it past Isaacson. Goalkeeper no chance. 2-0. You've got to think that's it all over for Manchester City. Down to 10 men. They will not come back from this.
4 goals for Afonso Alves since his winter switch from here in vain. And it just gets worse. The week gets worse for Sven-Göran Eriksson.
I just sitting there stunned. You got to have a certain amount of sympathy for him, Gary. You know, he's what do you think has been badly treated at Manchester City.
Good football again there from Middlesbrough. Cut City open. City, remember, down to 10. Had no answer to that. Alves was more or less left all alone, had the time and space to size up the finish, and he found it.
Well, they've got a lot of good footballers, this Middlesbrough side. A side full of players with really good technique. Tunchai rocking back. Downing, who's just making a run now.
It's intelligent running from Middlesbrough. Done well, Downing. Tunchai and Boateng in the middle. Misses both of them.
Well, some players at the end of the season can't come soon enough. But that's not the case with Stuart Downing. His form over the last couple of months has been absolutely fantastic. And he'll be wishing there was another game, another few games. He's bang on form at this moment in time, and goal scoring form. Knocked away the penalty well, took Middlesbrough in front. And in my opinion, well, I think he's the best left-sided player in English football.
Downing got the first from the penalty spot, Alves the second. Middlesbrough with a 2-goal lead against 10-man Manchester City here. Go and send the fans off happy for the summer. That was the instructions from Gareth Southgate. They were the words. And his team are doing that so far. He's had to reassess in the last couple of weeks as well. He's had an open door policy here since becoming manager. He says that may change next season. By Alves. Here it comes again though. Root Young, no one's inside the penalty area yet. Downing races in there now. Dangerous ball in, that corridor of uncertainty brings another corner.
Now, good defending which I look at, but Middlesbrough enjoying this. Getting all the possession, you expect 2-0 up, City down to 10 men. Because it's not all been plain sailing at the other side this year for them. Disappointing home form. Gareth Southgate determined to put that right. And finishing with, well, it's going to be back-to-back wins, isn't it? Portsmouth City.
Whistling off the head of Tunchai. There's George Boateng, still plenty to aim for. Go across and he'll know it.
Yeah, it's a pity. They deliver it. You know, 4 red shirts inside the box here. All in and around the 6-yard area. Waiting on the ball coming in. Attack it, but just, well, knows it himself, doesn't he?
If it is to be his last game as manager of Manchester City in the Premier League, he's got his work cut out at half-time. Down by 2-0, down to 10 men. And they haven't really threatened the Middlesbrough goal, apart from one Gelson Fernandes effort, which was saved by Schwarzer. Gareth Southgate watches this, he'll want this form that they've shown here in the first half, albeit against a team down to 10 men, to be translated and carried on into next season. And Alves may latch on to this. Isaacson patrolling his area.
Just a bit too much in the pass, not much. Nearly a delightful ball. 2 Brazilians linking up again.
Wheater having to stretch. Downing on the run here. Middlesbrough hunting a third before half-time. It's Alves, Tunchai, Arker and Boateng, and Downing all waiting. Went for glory.
Well, does this come off a City player here? Stuart Downing catching the counter-attack. He gets on target, Alves. Always does. Never really get the power to trouble Isaacson.
Pocket's just letting that ball bounce, gets away with it though. Well, not too far away from injury time at the end of this first half. Middlesbrough leading by 2-0 thanks to a Stuart Downing penalty. Richard Dunn was sent off for a professional foul. Second goal finished by Afonso Alves. Middlesbrough, no question, have been on top.
Well, their away form in general this season, away from home, Manchester City's been poor. You obviously felt when they went a goal down, and a player down as well, that, well, they just weren't going to get back into this game. Middlesbrough have added a second, played some good football, crowd enjoying this. Very confident Middlesbrough, so they should be.
It's a summer stroll under the cloudy sky so far. There's Boateng. Tunchai in space. Just took a touch. Again, Middlesbrough opening up Manchester City.
Just trying a little trick there, Tunchai, but if they'd only look behind him, Stuart Downing, acres of space, back post area, all on his own.
How much space Downing has here. Time to size up the cross. Tunchai again taking a touch. George Boateng, surely! Isaacson with a wonderful save. How did he keep that one out?
Well, that's a certain goal when that ball comes in. First of all, you think it's Alves that's going to knock it in. It doesn't. It falls to Boateng, and it's an absolutely magnificent save. Arca starts the move. A great ball out to Stuart Downing. He picks Tunchai out here, knocks it back across the goal. Alves misses it, skips up nicely for George Boateng, and it's an absolutely brilliant save. That looks an absolute certainty for number 3, and what about that for a save?
Hasn't played since December because of Joe Hart's form. That was a wonderful save. Still trouble here. Boateng just couldn't pounce as the ball dropped to him at the far post.
Well, it's Riggett that gets the header. It's an attempt at goal here by Chris Riggett, but nearly falls for George Boateng. Just too much pace on the ball. Little smile from Chris Riggett. Well, scored one last week.
It should be 3-0. It's not, though. Thanks to him there. Andreas Isaacson. Fantastic save. All about when you're a goalkeeper, spreading yourself, making yourself look big. It's the Peter Schmeichel textbook of goalkeeping. That's what he did there. Into injury time at the end of the first half. Middlesbrough leading by 2-0. It's a Manchester City side down to 10 men. Almost being opened up at will by Middlesbrough.
Yeah, you've got to think that Middlesbrough keep their concentration, keep their passing going. They're going to get more opportunities. You really fancy them strongly after the 2 that they've already got.
Tunchai away from ball. Alves streaking through the middle. Ireland tracking back. Just making sure Tunchai couldn't deliver. It opened up there for a second.
Well, if he looks up earlier in the move, Tunchai, Alves has made a really good run. So tried a little ball in behind the central defender there. As it happens, Ireland does a good job here tracking Tunchai back. Forces him to get back the way. Well, just whacks that ball at George Boateng, can't control it.
He's had a good first half, Tunchai. Work to do then for Manchester City and Sven-Göran Eriksson. Down to 10 men and 2 goals down in what could be his final game as manager of Manchester City. Stuart Downing's penalty clinically struck after Tunchai being brought down by Richard Dunn. Phil Dowd, no doubt, penalty and a red card. And then came the second from Afonso Alves after Middlesbrough opened up Manchester City once more. Half-time, Middlesbrough 2. Well, if this is to be Sven's goodbye, it's not going to plan. 2 down, a man down. And playing a Middlesbrough side who are ending the season on a high. Big 45 minutes to come from Manchester City to try to get back into this. And also for Middlesbrough to send their fans off into the summer with smiles on their faces.
You just wonder what Sven said to them at half-time, and it must be really difficult. He knows he's leaving. Side, as you say, Gary, down to 10 men, a couple of goals behind. I think I want your side to be professional. Big support travel through from Manchester. At least be professional, give them plenty of effort. don't collapse altogether here.
Well, it could have been 3. Look for a fantastic save from Andreas Isaacson to deny George Boateng. Flag up here against Stuart Downing. Well, it may be the last day of the season, but the floodlights are on here at the Riverside, requested by the referee Phil Dowd. It's a dark, gloomy day here. Even gloomier for the Manchester City fans so far who've made the journey. It is May, isn't it?
Well, I think Gareth Southgate will see this second half as an opportunity to score more than 2 goals. And I'm sure he'll be hoping his side get out with a bang. A lot of goals, something these Middlesbrough fans haven't seen a lot of at the Riverside this season.
It's the point that Gareth Southgate has made this season, the fact that they've lacked maybe a little bit of creativity in the midfield, and the goals from midfield and up front as well, apart from, of course, Stuart Downing, who's weighed in with 9 now for this campaign. That's an area of the team he really wants to work on, the creativity of the midfield, and to get more goals from the strikers.
Well, that's one of the reasons Alves is here, to add goals. Obviously problems with Mido out for, well, most of the season since he's moved from Tottenham Hotspur with injury. I've got to think when he comes back, might be interesting partnership, Mido and Alves. That'll work well together, because it has been a bit of a problem, particularly here at the Riverside this season for Middlesbrough.
He's not beaten one of his former managers so far this season, Gareth Southgate. He's Kevin Keegan, Steve Coppell, and now today Sven-Göran Eriksson. They're heading towards victory here, Middlesbrough. There's Plogatets.
Well, they've got to make sure they just keep moving the ball around, don't get sloppy, Middlesbrough. They've got to think they'll create more openings if that's the case. You say, could easily have been 3. Gary, what a fantastic save from Isaacson just before half-time. Not seen many better saves this season.
Good ball here to Downing. Trying to go on the outside of Son. He was blocked off Stuart Downing. It's a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area.
Now, what will happen here? I think Rockenbach will fancy this. I think he might fancy a shot at target as well. Right peg, I mean, it's obstruction there, there's no doubt about it. It was right on the edge of the box. Could have been another penalty. That's a foot or 2 in. Now what they're going to work here is going to cut this back for Downing, because there's nobody picking up Downing at this moment in time. Was it into the danger area, or try to bend it at top left hand corner?
He's given the free kick right on the edge here. Downing may have thought he was just inside. Middlesbrough going for a 3rd goal. Rockenbach going for power. Isaacson fishing the ball straight up into the sky. And he was the coolest customer in there to collect it as it dropped. And he's had a busy afternoon. Andreas Isaacson in the Manchester City goal. And now City get the free kick here.
It's a bit hot to handle the free kick. Did what he had to do, just keep it out the net, because he really smashes this Rockenbach. I mean, he goes way up in there. Does he get a bit lucky here, but he keeps his eye on the ball.
Now City have a free kick of their own at the other end. They try and get a foothold in this game, trailing by 2 goals to 0. Down to 10 men, and Phil Dowd having a word with Stephen Ireland amongst others, and Castillo over there as well. Ball to George Boateng. Alves away on this near side. Downing through the middle, just behind Stuart Downing. Quite to just his feet. That's where Manchester City are liable to get caught because of the numerical disadvantage. The idea there from Tunçay, I should say, was to try and slide Alves in. Quite come off for him. The other end, Castillo is onside here. Neri Castillo with a chance to try and pull City back into it. Force wide. The cavalry is arriving late. Goes towards Darius Vassell. It's a chance, a big chance for Manchester City.
Well, they give it away at the other end, and it is a chance for Manchester City here. I mean, it's a terrific ball in. Schwarzer does well there to force Castillo away from the goals. He looks up here, it's all red shirts, and then Vassell comes into the picture. Pogadet stands waiting, nearly get punished for that as well. But it was Tunjai at the other end that gave it away. Tried a clever little ball through to Alves, trying to get Alves 1v1 with Isaacson. Instead of knocking it out wide to George Boateng, keeping possession, City nearly punished them in the counter-attack there.
Well, that is live in the Manchester City fans up behind Mark Schwartz's goal. They're singing their protest songs about Sven. They're quietened after Middlesbrough's 2-goal salvo in the first half. And the red card to Richard Dunn. Being livened back up now. Petrov bursting forward, aimed towards Neri Castillo. Left away by Wheater. This is better though from Manchester City.
Well, they've been positive, City, start of the second half, having a go.
This is Ball. Now Fernandez. Comes through a ball towards Son. Son under a little bit of pressure there. Pogatet's trying to shrug off Neri Castillo. Manchester City have won their last 3 encounters against Middlesbrough. Won here last season. They have a lot to do if they're to turn this around. Words from Sven-Göran Eriksson down below us to Neri Castillo. Castillo's in space on this near side behind Pogatet. Here he is. Ireland through the middle. Jihai Son galloping forward on the overlap. Does like to run with the ball, Neri Castillo, but was stopped in his tracks by Rockenbach. Middlesbrough, remember, could finish the season in 13th place. With a win here, and a defeat for Wigan. Here's Fabio Rockenbach. Manchester City giving it a bit more of a go in the second half. But you do feel that Middlesbrough can cut them open.
I think if they just take a little bit more care in their attacking play at Middlesbrough, they're going to score more goals.
Downing, well, look at that again from Son. It's the second time he's done that. Blatant block on Downing, and now it's a yellow card.
Well, he knows there's some trouble there when Downing gets round him. Just steps in front of the winger. Obstruction once again in a dangerous area. He knows what he's done. Made it pretty easy for Phil Dowd, didn't he? Well, it's been difficult to go for with Stuart Downing. Quite a lot of right backs had that problem this season.
A little bit further, wider this time for Rockenbach. Will he go for power again, or will he swing the ball in here? It's the latter. Comfortably away by Chorluka. Towards Riggett. Nice flick down here to David Wheater. Wheater's done well and almost finished it. Sunshai, Wheater again. It's pinball inside the Manchester City penalty area, and City survive.
Well, it's lovely, quick feet with David Wheater in the first place. Well, looks like an attacker here. Comes inside, gets his shot away. Isaacson can't hold it. Gets another stab at Wheater. City managed to clear it. I've been impressive at both ends of the pitch this season. Wheater scored some goals. Well, had a terrific season as a defender. Really outstanding season, the youngster.
He used to be a striker, David Wheater, in his younger days. His favourite player was Eric Cantona as a youngster. He's a player who admits he's feeling a little bit tired, only used to playing about 20 reserve games and a few on loan, David Wheater. It's been a long season for him. He was in the crowd at Darlington yesterday watching the playoff game with Rochdale. Told his girlfriend they were going on a date and took her to Darlington.
Well, Gareth Southgate was left with no option but to play him on a regular basis this season. 1 or 2 injuries. His form was that good. Just couldn't afford to leave him out. But yeah, it's quite a tough old season for a youngster in his first full season. Although it's been a hugely successful one. Picked up plenty of awards this year. Having this fellow on the ball just now.
Alves. George Boateng screaming for the ball on that far side. Marcus slipping it through towards Stuart Downing, who was onside. I think Downing thought he was caught, then Alves picked up and the flag went up.
Well, he gets inside Sinji-Hai here. And there's a little collision. Downing makes the run here. It's a good run. Sinji-Hai doesn't match it, and he just sticks out his left leg there. It's a wee touch on the clumsy side. Sometimes seen them given.
I don't know if that initial flag went up against Stuart Downing, but went up late. Anyway, result is free kick to Manchester City. Middlesbrough leading by 2-0. City down to 10 men in what could well be Sven-Göran Eriksson's last game as manager of Manchester City. This is Tunchai. It's Chorluka doing the defending. Middlesbrough getting the corner. He's been a real pest for Manchester City to deal with this afternoon. Home fans in full voice, they're liking what they're seeing. Can it get even better for them here? They did well to stretch and reach that. This is Rockenbach.
Nobody at that back post area at all, was there?
Now Boateng. Towards Alves and Sunshine then causing problems. Oh, that is incredible! That is a fabulous finish from Stuart Downing. It made just a finish Sven and Manchester City off.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant technique for Stuart Downing here. Just confirms, in my opinion, what I've been saying all season long. He's the best left-sided player that England have got. Should be a regular in the England side. I mean, this is fantastic technique here with the outside of his left foot, and it's a fabulous finish. Could finish Borough's top goal scorer this season. What an achievement that would be for a white player.
Well, his manager told him today, get 2 more goals, get into double figures for the season. He has done just that. 3-0, the first time Middlesbrough have scored 3 goals this season. Stuart Downing, that was a delightful goal to see. We were right behind that, kept his eyes on the ball. Wonderful technique. Back of the net, 3-0.
Well, I think they're going to make a couple of substitutions in Middlesbrough. Ali Adier, looks like Adam Johnson as well. But I tell you what, not one of these Middlesbrough players will want to come off here. Certainly Stuart Downing won't. And I think he'll be an angry young man if he gets substituted here for Adam Johnson, because he'll be fancying a hat-trick Stuart Downing.
Best goal-scoring return of any season so far for Stuart Downing. He's raised the bar for himself for next season now. As you said, Gordon, leading the scoring charts for Middlesbrough, 2 ahead of this man, Sunshine. Alves is through the middle here. He's onside. It could be and should be 4-0 to Middlesbrough. It's a rout. It just crept in. 2 for Alves, 4 for Middlesbrough. They are running riot at the Riverside.
Well, get caught all over the place at the back, Manchester City now. This is turning into a rout. Bit of a shambles here. It's a good first-time ball, but Aka is certainly onside. Alves, 1v1, just tries to lift it over the goalkeeper. Nearly another terrific bit of goalkeeping. Gets a hand to it, but not enough to stop it across the line. 4-0, and I don't think the goals will stop here. But Middlesbrough, as I say, about to make a substitution. Won't be happy if they take this fella off. Well, he certainly won't. He'll be fancying a hat-trick, something of a hat-trick specialist in his days with Heerenveen.
Gelson Fernandez just couldn't quite get there. Middlesbrough about to make a double change. Manchester City also about to bring on Dietmar Hamann, I think to try and shore up the flow. which is almost sweeping them away.
Well, it could get embarrassing if they don't get a grip here, Manchester City. This could be anything. You could see Middlesbrough getting another 2-3 goals here.
4-0 to Middlesbrough. That was a trademark Alves goal, marauding through the middle. Just about crept in, didn't it? Isaacson did his best to thwart him. Island to Son. The sun certainly isn't shining for Manchester City, all for Sven. 4-0 to Middlesbrough. Manchester City making the change. Alves thought he was coming off because his number was up, but it's not. It's not him, it's Sarius Vassell, the number 12 of Manchester City, is coming off. Well, Alves was about to stalk towards Gareth Southgate.
He looked up and he seen the number 12. It was actually Darius Vassell. Gareth said, no, you're staying on. You're in the hat-trick. I can't imagine he'd take Alves or Stuart Downing off. No, it's Arca. It's Arca in actual fact. When you're on 2 goals apiece and against a City side that, well, look a mess. They want to stay on. Good afternoon's work the Arca. Adam Johnson, well, terrific talent.
And it's Tunchai, who is also coming off for Middlesbrough. So a standing ovation because Tunchai's had a terrific season. He's really endeared himself to the faithful here. So Ali Adier on for Tunchai, Johnson on for Arca, Haman on for Vassell for Manchester City. The mist is rolling in here at the Riverside.
There's a wee bit of red mist there from Tunchai as well, not happy about getting asked to leave the field of play when he's enjoying his afternoon's work. But Gareth Southgate wants to give lads on the bench a little run at Ali Adier, Adam Johnson, why not?
I'm sure Gareth Southgate would rather have a confrontation with Tunchai than Afonso Alves.
Well, you don't expect him to be happy when
Alves thought he was about to come off. Still the Manchester City fans sing. It's Middlesbrough, though, who are in cruise control here. And they could get even better for Middlesbrough. Remember, City are down to 10. Richard Dunn sent off early in the first half for a professional foul. Incidentally, the referee watched the highlights of that, the replay of that, at half-time, and said he was spot on. Looking into the red card and the penalty. So Boateng's moved in field for Middlesbrough. Johnson is out on that far side. And Ali Adier up front alongside Afonso Alves. A man, as you can see, slotting into Manchester City's midfield. Wants to try and stem this Middlesbrough flow. What can Middlesbrough do here? Wheater waiting, so too Riggett. Ali Adier, Alves and Downing. Done by Johnson. Riggett's free! Flag is up. He thought it was 5.
Well, I think the assistant referee gets this right, not just Riggett. There's a few players offside here. When the ball comes in, well, is it? Not a great deal in it, is there?
Ali Adier looks to be just with his head, maybe, but Riggett wasn't.
Well, you're talking maybe 6 inches there, Ali Adier. Riggett onside.
Maybe a little bit of luck there for Manchester City. Could have been 5. Great atmosphere inside the Riverside Stadium now, as you'd expect. The Middlesbrough fans in full voice. But the Manchester City fans are also in full voice as well. It's the old Manchester City chant, isn't it? We're not really here. That's what they sing. It's a song that goes back to the days when they were in the 3rd tier of English football, not too long ago, really. But they are really here today. But they're getting beat by 4-0. suppose it's the old manager's frustration, Gordon, isn't it? Gareth Southgate sat down there. All right, City are down to 10, but probably thinking, why couldn't this have happened maybe earlier in the season?
Well, I think we've touched on it's been a problem scoring goals at the Riverside this season. If their home form had been, well, just a little bit better, they certainly wouldn't have been the tail end of the season before they get confirmed as taking part in the Premier League. And that result was against Portsmouth last week. It's still a mathematical possibility. Up until then, it really shouldn't have been the case. Because I've been watched a lot of Middlesbrough's game this season. I mean, the football has been pretty good. A lot of excellent players, but it's not goal scoring. It's been a little bit of a problem for Manchester City as well. I'm sure it's one that, well, whoever's in charge next season would like to put right. Maybe Gareth Southgate has with the signing of Alves, and hopefully the return of Mido.
Ali Adier is after this, trying to get in on the act. Still the name of Sven-Göran Eriksson is sung by the Manchester City fans. Still they back their manager. Look at worse here. It's Johnson trying to weave a way through. Now it's Downing on that left foot again. Downing claims deflection. It's a goal kick.
Adam Johnson here, just a little, trying to get a shot away himself, but elects to knock it to Stuart Downing. I mean, does Isaacson get a touch to that? Looks as if he might have done. Smacked it well, Stuart Downing, but never got the accuracy that he had with the shot that did beat the keeper.
There's Pogatet, still the red tide surges forward here for Middlesbrough. There's Johnson, loves to run with the ball. Downing calling for the ball on this near side, it's aimed towards him. Son underneath it. Downing and Alves on hat-tricks here for Middlesbrough. Unheard of this season. This is Young. Ali Adier trying to run the channel. Johnson out wide. Young has continued forward and is waiting inside the City penalty area. Now it's rocking back. Just cut out, gets a second chance. City can't get a kick of the ball. This is Boateng. It's hard to play when you only have 10 men, especially when the man is sent off. The captain, big part of the team, of course, in the early part of the game. That's what Manchester City have had to deal with, but Middlesbrough, it's about taking advantage of that, and that's what Middlesbrough have done. They've kept the ball like this, they've dragged City out, and they've punished them.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that Richard Dunn's the most influential player, and to lose him at an early stage in the game.
There'll be more here. It is. It's 5 for Middlesbrough. It's Adam Johnson with the finish. Took a deflection. It is an absolute rout.
It seems a bit unfair in Isaacson, doesn't it? I mean, it's a deflection that beats him. And you can't really fault the goalkeeper for any of the goals. There's some terrific strikes, and he's made one or two fabulous saves. Adam Johnson, only one thing in his mind here, having a pot at goal, comes off the instep of Michael Ball and deflects past the keeper. I think City will be delighted now to keep this at 5, I really do. And they brought Hamann on just to sit in front of the back four, try to shore things up a little bit. But they look like they're going to score every time they attack Middlesbrough.
First goal for Middlesbrough this season for Johnson. City have made a change. Alano has come on, and Martin Petrov has gone off. The Brazilian was superb, Alano, at the start of the season, up until around maybe November time. There's some work to do now if he's to pull City back into this game. Castillo trying to rustle up a consolation. Thought he was fouled. Phil Dowd says no. Sven-Göran Eriksson was under immense pressure before this game. It's just increased massively. Still the City fans support him, still the City fans stick by him. The owner, Thaksin Shinawatra, who will be watching this in Thailand, he won't be impressed, will he? Ali Adier is offside here. Flag is up. But Sven-Göran Eriksson under real pressure as he heads towards either a meeting or a phone call from his owner. Thaksin Shinawatra said there would be a full inquiry into Manchester City's season. Does Sven-Göran Eriksson know if he has a future? They are Thaksin Shinawatra's aides. They will not be impressed with what they see in here, but they will know that the fans are still backing Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Well, it'd be a shame for him if his Manchester City stint had to, well, finish the way it's finishing today. Doesn't deserve that. And an awful lot of pluses for Manchester City this year. Obviously, huge unrest at City just now, and well, an absolute trouncing today.
Alano trying to knit something together for Manchester City. They've been absolutely taken apart here, albeit down to 10 men early on. There's Rockenbach. He's had a big part to play in this game today, ahead of talks with his manager next week over his future. Another perfect ball. Good control from Alves.
Yeah, it was a lovely first touch, wasn't it? Just plucked that out of the air.
Now Ireland for Manchester City. To Alano. A man. Manchester City just have to keep going in this situation. Nothing else they can do. Another 15 minutes to play. Gelson Fernandes tried to bulldoze his way through. In the way, David Wheater. Helped out as well by Luke Young.
Yeah, they need to give it everything they've got for the rest, as you say, Gary, for this last 15 minutes. I mean, 5's bad, but when you start talking about 6s and 7s, that really is humiliating, regardless of being down to 10 men.
Alano again. He's been formed down to a muscle injury, the Brazilian. And you think how well Manchester City started the season. Were top, of course, at one stage, did the double over Manchester United, were in contention for a Champions League place until they started to slide in January. And it's coming for them really to a pitiful end here. It's Castillo. Wants to return, Castillo. Alano couldn't find it. In complete contrast, Manchester City's end to the season. What about Middlesbrough? Fans will leave here excited about next season. The other two by the signings Gareth Southgate will want to make. Johnson, quick feet. He's a player set for talks with the manager as well about his future. There's a nice moment for Middlesbrough. Tony McMahon is coming on. His first appearance in the Premier League for 2 years. He's been hit by injuries, hamstring injuries and a broken leg as well. He's coming off for Luke Young. But a really nice moment for Tony McMahon, who has been offered a 1-year extension here at the Riverside Stadium. He's fought back from injury, and it's a big, big moment for him.
Well, when he got in the Middlesbrough side initially, it was a lot of people predicting big things for young Tony McMahon. As you rightly say, Gary, he's had an awful time of injury, and it's just nice you can get something, well, a little run out, tail end of this season, and then obviously the summer, work hard on his fitness, and try and put a little bit of pressure on Luke Young. Difficult player to dislodge, Luke Young. Mr. Consistency this year, high level of consistency as well. Another player, McMahon, that came through the academy. Quite a few of them on this pitch now. Peter, Downing, Johnson, Tony McMahon. A lot of talent there. Really productive, the academy here. Dave Palmer and Ron Bowen do a great job.
Yeah, almost got onto that. In fact, both clubs, Gordon, aren't they great advocates of the academy system? City have had 26 players break through from their academy over the years. As you rightly say, Middlesbrough as well.
Well, they've produced some fantastic players as well, Manchester City, haven't they? And a few of them out the side at this moment in time, picked up injuries of late, and not been available for Eriksen at the tail end of the season.
Well, opened up there for Alano, trying to find a little bit of Brazilian magic to reward those travelling Manchester City fans. Well, there's been plenty of Manchester City players, ex-players who've had their say this week. There's one, Andy Hinchcliffe, who says it would be ludicrous for them to get rid of Sven-Göran Eriksson. His cause hasn't been helped by this game here today. But City, remember, as their fans are quite rightly reminding us, could be off to Europe by the Fair Play League. They're in pole position to get that position next season, just as they did a few years ago. Of course, Richard Dunn's sending off may have a little bit to say in that, but by all accounts, City are set for that place.
Well, I'm all for fair play, but to get a place in Europe for it, well, I don't think so.
City qualified courtesy of the Fair Play League about 5 years ago. 30 years since they actually qualified for Europe through a league position. That was Tony Puck's side. They finished 4th in the league that year. They could well be heading off to the continent, but will Sven-Göran Eriksson be with them? That's what we wait to see. Middlesbrough, the target next season will be a top 10 place and possibly Europe if they can do it. This will give the fans, the players and the manager heart of what can be done. It's all about doing it though over the 9 months of the season. It's a good way to end the campaign for Middlesbrough. Johnson has swapped sides now with Downing. A free kick to the home side.
Well, you're talking, what, 35 yards here. Rocking back, or Alves will go. Alves a free kick specialist as well. He'll be fancying his hat trick. 2 Brazilians, no doubt. Sorting it out. We'll see who wins this argument. No doubt they'll both want to take it. Looks like rocking back. Sorry. Not having a chance for your hat trick. I'm taking it.
Alves has moved away. Middlesbrough looking for a 6th goal on the final day of the Premier League season. They have taken Manchester City apart. The mist continues to roll in here off the River Tees. It is Fabio rocking back, plenty of power. That is another tremendous goal. How about that? 6-0.
Well, we've seen a lineup for Manchester City scoring some fantastic free kicks this season, but none can be better than that one. It's an absolutely fabulous strike by Rockenbach, who's been hugely influential in the middle of the park for Middlesbrough today. I mean, what about this for a strike? Absolutely brilliant. Well, this is a severe thrashing for Manchester City, but once again, Isaacson can do nothing about this goal at all. Certainly can't blame the goalkeeper today. That is an absolutely magnificent strike.
Thunderous effort. No wonder Alves moved away.
It was quite right, wasn't it? There was no little giggle to himself. He enjoyed it.
Well, Rockenbach heads for talks over his future with Gareth Southgate next week. He may want to bring a DVD of that goal with him. 6-0. Well, that was a belter. Was that the best goal so far we see this afternoon? Downing's with a fantastic goal as well. Well, that was something else, really. The power in that shot was immense, and
well,
Isaacson had no chance.
No, he'll be thinking, well, wait a minute, I've not had a bad game in goals today, you know. Get an opportunity, leave Joe Hart out, let him in for the last game of the season. And I conceded 6, and I think I played well.
Well, the message from Gareth Southgate was to the players: send the fans home happy for the summer. Make them want to come back here next season and believe in what we're doing. You cannot get better than this. Albeit City have been down to 10 men since early on, but Middlesbrough have really taken them apart. And every time they go forward, you think it might be another one.
Yeah, slightly better ball from Johnson there for Ali Adair. And then in for possibly number 7. Just overcooks Ali Adair onside. Just gets too much weight on the pass from Johnson.
Six 0 to Middlesbrough. They hadn't scored 3 goals in a match this season. They made up for that today.
Well, I gotta say, we'll be thinking, my goodness, him, Malcolm Crosby, Colin Cooper, they're saying, well, left it a bit late in the season. Start scoring goals like this.
And what about Sven-Göran Eriksson? Will he be heading to a meeting with his owner? Will it be a phone call? He may want to switch the phone off after this. City, of course, head to the Far East on Tuesday for their end-of-season tour. Playing a couple of games over there, and maybe when the showdown happens. There's Ali Adair. Manchester City were taken apart by Chelsea by 6 goals to 0 earlier this season. That was difficult to take for them. Look at one here though. Schwartz has slipped. It's Castillo. Nothing's going right for City this afternoon, is it?
Well, it's a fantastic pass as well. Fantastic pass. Great movement with the striker here. Doesn't realise the goalkeeper's more or less out the game. Slid there, Matt Schwartz running out for that one. Castillo needed to show a little bit more composure. And he gets a, well, consolation goal.
Approaching the final 6 minutes of normal time at the Riverside. Middlesbrough will not want this to end. Manchester City want to get straight onto the coach.
Yeah, 6 minutes too long for Manchester City, that's for sure. You've got to think Middlesbrough are going to get 7.
They've knocked the ball around sweetly, haven't they? Downing's on a hat-trick. Rocking back. Boateng. Oh, wants that, didn't he? Stolen away from him. There's Ali Adair. It could be 7. It just gets better and better for Middlesbrough. It's a nightmare for Manchester City. It's 7-0.
Well, it's a good finish as well. It's good football. And we all know, I've said time and time again, it's been difficult for City with losing Richard Dunn, but some of the football Middlesbrough played has been absolutely delightful. I mean, they have been lacking in confidence at times at home at the Riverside this season, but certainly after going a couple of goals up today, they can't get enough of the ball, these players. And to be perfectly honest, they've looked like scoring every single time of attack.
Crestfallen, absolutely crestfallen.
You've got to feel a certain amount of sympathy towards him. I mean, this whole Manchester City thing's been, well, he's been treated shabbily. I can't believe they're thinking of getting rid of him. And, well, for it to finish this way is just, he deserves an awful lot better. He's done a good job at Manchester City this season.
5 minutes left yet. What a romp for Middlesbrough. 7-0. Their football has been a joy to watch here this afternoon. They want such football, their possession football, and more importantly, they found the finish.
Well, we said that earlier, Gary, didn't we? 5-0 is a bad result, but when you get to your 6s and 7s, it's a real humiliation. Now, if you're talking 8, well, it doesn't get much worse than that for a footballer. There's time to get another one, yeah, that's for sure.
You made the point this week, Sven and Eriksson, that the players, well, they're getting a little bit affected by all the speculation, etc. Whether it's had anything to do with today's display, or whether it's simply the fact the captain went off early, sent off, they had to change Ben Johnny, and Middlesbrough have been so good. Which one is it, do you think?
Well, I think it's a fair old mixture, isn't it? It was a hammer blow, losing their most influential player, their captain, terrific defender, and conceding a penalty at the same time and going behind. And really nothing to play for this City side today. And up against the Middlesbrough side that, well, they've got plenty of players on this side that can't have knocked the ball around. It's a great technical ability. And they've got a huge goal-scoring threat, as Downing and Alves have proved today. Tunjai's movement was killing them early on. He played really well. And they've just grown in confidence as this game progressed.
There's Alano. Oh, look at that! A response from Manchester City. Too little, too late. But what another fabulous goal.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's been some fantastic goals by Middlesbrough today, but that's as good as any of them. This is a fabulous bit of play by Alano here, just picks it up, and this right-hand side comes inside, comes across a couple of players, and what about that for a strike? Matt Schwarzer doesn't even go for this, he's got absolutely no chance. Absolutely brilliant bit of play. We really have seen some fantastic goals here today. What a strike that is.
10th goal of the season for Alano. Do you remember a game, Gordon, when you're seeing so many goals of such high quality in one match?
I was expecting Middlesbrough, the next goal to be scored by a Middlesbrough player, certainly not Manchester City. But I'll tell you what a peach it was.
Even some of the Middlesbrough fans were cheering that goal as well. Manchester City fans are chanting easy. Middlesbrough fans respond with kind applause. It's been that kind of day. 7-1 to Middlesbrough. Even the penalty was struck well.
Well, he did. He really smashed the penalty shoot down, didn't he? Because the keeper guessed the right way. 6'6", he was at full stretch as well. But such was the power and the accuracy. Well, didn't give him any chance. Down his second goal was a beauty as well. Not quite sure what the best goal is we've seen today. Might have to go for Alano.
There'll be another here. Johnson couldn't play in. Afonso Alves. There's Castillo. And Manchester City get a second consolation. A minute left to play of normal time. We've seen 8 goals. And I think all 8, including the penalty from Stuart Downing, which was a clinical finish, all 8 goals have been quality goals.
Well, there's been some spectacular ones. You know, you look at Rockenbach's free kick. You'll not see a better free kick this season. Stuart Downing's was a fabulous finish, great technique outside of the left foot. And Alano's was a terrific goal. Terrific goal. There's certainly some great entertainment. That's for sure. Oh.
There'll be another one here. It's Alves for a hat-trick. It's 8 for Middlesbrough. It's a hat-trick for Afonso Alves. Embarrassment for City. Pure, unbridled joy for Middlesbrough.
Well, what did I say about 8 goals? Total humiliation for Manchester City. Alves with his first hat-trick for Middlesbrough. Got a great record in Dutch football for scoring hat-tricks. Well, couldn't miss that one, could he? Once again, keeper absolutely no chance. You concede 8 goals, you think the keeper's had a nightmare. Well, it's far from the case. He's played pretty well in goals, Isaacson, and really no chance for anything. Look at Michael Ball, just, well, absolutely stunned. There won't be many of these players conceded 8 goals in their careers.
He hasn't played since December. Isaacson was given the place today because of his professionalism. He's conceded 8. if Sven is to be forced out and he signs off with his team given an absolute beating. It'll be a sad way for him to bow out as Manchester City manager. But his team have been taken apart by Middlesbrough. 8 goals from Middlesbrough. Manchester City had their captain, Richard Dunn, sent off early on. The rout began after that with Downing's penalty. We've seen goals of high quality, rocking back with a wonderful free kick. Alano's was special too. Alves with a hat-trick. It's finished at the Riverside Stadium, a breathless Riverside Stadium. Middlesbrough 8, Manchester City 1. Sven, must be difficult to come and talk after that. What are your thoughts?
Yes, of course it's difficult, because when you lose a game, it's always sorry, difficult. But when you lose, as we lost today, yes, it's awful. Bad luck in the beginning. Benjani injured after just a couple of minutes. Some minutes later, penalty, red card, and bad start of the day. But anyhow, I think we were in the game rather okay. We created some occasions. We were in the game until 3-0. After that, we mentally had nothing. We were not even on the pitch, and that's very bad, of course, very bad.
Gareth, where do you begin with that?
Well, that's football, isn't it? You know, we've been one of the lowest scorers in the division. We've had very little luck all season, and we've got all our goals and all our luck in one afternoon, I think. So, you know, it was a great performance to say goodbye to our fans for this season, and obviously the circumstances at Man City have helped us today, I think.
Key incident was the early sending off of Richard Dunn. From where you were, from what you saw, do you think it was a red card?
I don't think the ref had a lot of alternative, but I don't think Richard meant to bring him down. You know, I think he's just caught his heel. But with the way the law is, you know, you have to go. So, you know, that's the key thing, because he's their best defender, and you know, with things the way they are there, I'm sure that's given them a massive uphill task.
Even so, they go down to 10. We've seen it so many times that teams can struggle to play against the 10 men, but you opened City up at will, really, it seemed.
Well, the third goal was the important one. You know, even at 2-0, they've got some quality in their side, and they passed the ball well, and you know, they were able to keep the ball even with 10. But once we've got the third, I think that sort of broke their resistance, really. And you know, we played some good football towards the end, a bit sloppy at times, but we've scored some fantastic goals.
I was going to ask, which one was your favourite today? Because so many to pick from.
Yeah, well, I mean, Fabio's free kick was world class. I think Stewie's second, though, on the volley, and to get him to that 10-goal mark that has been his challenge all season. So, you know, it was pleasing that Adam comes on and gets a goal, and Jeremy, because they've played a big part within the squad this year. So, it was a good day for us.
From your situation now, I know you've answered these questions for the last 10 days. What is the situation regarding you now, Sven, as you understand it?
Well, the problem is that you should be. We have to speak clearly, face to face, and see what the club wants to do, what I want to do, and so on. Because living in the uncertainty, which we have done now for many weeks, it's not good. It's not good for anyone.
So at the moment, as we stand here, you don't know either way. You're having to wait for a phone call or some kind of meeting?
No, I hope it will be some sort of meeting or a phone call today. It should be, because now the league is finished, and everyone has to think about the future. If you're a player, if you're a coach, and if you're the club, which is maybe the most important, that things starts to happen to prepare next season.
You finished 9th. You could still be in Europe via the Fair Play League. For you, what kind of campaign is that, do you think?
Well, it's maybe a little bit stupid to say today after you're losing 8-1, but overall it's been a rather good season, I think, with some awful defeats like Chelsea away, Middlesbrough away today, but many good games, and we finish 9th, and I think it's good, with a little bit more of experience and not losing badly some games. I think we certainly should have finished maybe 6, 7, 8. But now the season is over, and it's to look at what we have done and see what we can do better next season.
Stuart, an 8-1 victory. What was that like to play in?
Brilliant. Like you say, it was tremendous the way we finished the season, but we have to do that week in, week out, and not just at the end.
Is that maybe the frustrating part, that it is the last day? You can only win the game in front of you now, but you need to translate that into every game really next season.
Yeah, I think we've been a bit inconsistent this season. It was pleasing today, getting the goals, and good for the fans to finish on a high. But we have to do better next season. We've just about stayed in this league, and that's not good enough. We have to aim higher.
City went down to 10 men early on. Richard Dunn was sent off. From your view on the field, do you think it was a sending off?
I don't really know. I mean, I know he's last man, but it might be a little bit harsh. He made a little bit of contact, but not a major one. But that's the rules, and he had to go. And I think it was a big point because after that we more or less ran right, and Dunn's a big player for them.
We've seen teams struggle to play against 10 men, but that certainly wasn't the case here, was it?
No, it wasn't. I mean, normally they get behind the ball, but Man City kept coming out, and they wanted to win the game, which was better for us because we could pass the ball around, and that's probably the best I've seen us pass it and move it, and everything we hit was in the back of the net. So it was a great day all round.